So the play was first commissioned by Big Brum from me to do as a theatre and education programme for 13 years old and upwards in the UK. But of course, it was also used in a variety of contexts, both in Slovenia, in Hungary, and in China, of course, and Greece. And what became very apparent to me through the process of working on the play was that actually the politics of it were universal, very much so. And what it was concerning itself with is how in our everyday practice and thinking, we confuse two very different ideas. And Varoufakis, the economist, talks about this, that we use interchangeably these days the economy and the market as an idea, as if it's one, when actually they're two separate things. Economy is about a way of organising production and distribution and the exchange of goods through supply and demand and consumption, etc. The market actually is just the place of exchange. Now, of course, traditionally, historically, the marketplace was a physical place at the centre of any polis, any polity. But of course, now what it's become is virtual as well. And what has happened in our culture is that the market has taken precedence over economy. So we do less on the basis of what is needed economically and more through what is desired to be consumed, to be commoditized. Touched is the third part of a trilogy. The trilogy is called Fear and Anger Trilogy, which was begun in 2009 with a play called Dereliction. The second play was Stitch Up, which was 2011. And this was the final part, 2013, for young people in the United Kingdom. And the focus of the plays is on how our culture demeans and demonizes young people when they refuse to be demeaned by the culture, if you understand what I'm saying. So in that sense, I think they're very political plays. And I very much wanted to make all three plays politically relevant to the young people that were receiving them in schools. They were aged 13 and above. But when I say political, I want to really emphasize this relationship between what I mean by political theatre and drama in the sense of the ancient Greeks, because drama comes from the Greek word dran, D-R-A-N, which means to do. And that's important because what was being done in the theatron, the theatre, the place of seeing, was an enactment of what it is to be human and what it is to be part of the Greek word, the polis, which is the city, and the politei, which is the citizen. And politics in that sense was about enacting your human experience as a member of the polity to become active agents of yourself and society. In 2017, Zhenzhe decided to, if you like, commission a reworking of the play within the Chinese context because of this relationship between politics, young people, and commodity and market and economy, and that universal question of what is need and what is want or what is desire, and how our desires have been corrupted by the market. So the play is set in 2035, and then the second part of the play is 15 years later in 2050. In 2035, society is literally falling apart in an orgy of rampant consumption that is devouring the culture. And in it, at this moment, a decisive moment, is a young girl exchanges her baby, her newborn baby, who has been born in an alleyway, for a new pair of trainers, because at that point she feels a stronger desire and connection to a pair of trainers. Now that, of course, is easy to judge and say you shouldn't do that. We all know that, but there's a much bigger problem at work there, and that is to do with how our desires become colonized by the market ideology, and how a symbol of freedom actually is footwear in our commodity-driven culture, when actually it's the thing that imprisons us. And 15 years later, we are living with, in the play, the catastrophe that has been created. And this is why I think young people in China, in Greece, in the UK, have really enjoyed this play, because it gives them complex problems like that to understand. Not to judge in the simple moral statement of it's wrong or it's not wrong, but actually, or it's right or good or bad, but in the complex sense of what happens when we lose ourselves and that human beings themselves become a commodity. And that is very much what is being lived through, I believe, in our contemporary culture, and why young people love the play, because it is about real desires, including sexual, and why often adults find it more difficult to deal with, because they're concerned with morality, what's right or wrong, and an authoritarian view of children, young people.